We're live.
I'm going to call the regular meeting to order. It is now 6:02. Requirements of the Sunshine Law have been met. This meeting was advertised in Burlington County Times on January the 7th, 2024. An electronic notice was given to the NJAC 5:39-1.5. We will now start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could now have a moment of silence. Roll call.
Committeewoman Berkeley. Committeeman Carr.
Here.
Committeewoman Mungo. Here. Committeewoman Wright. Mayor Henley.
Here.
Also present, Township Solicitor, Township Administrator, Deputy Administrator, Fire EMS Lieutenant.
We will now start with the workshop for the 2024 annual municipal budget.
Eric, I'm sorry, you can move closer to that screen so you can see the presentation because it's going to be very small.
Are you going to
So this is the 2024 proposed municipal budget for West Hampton. Tonight's agenda, we're going to go over the general fund expenditures through administration, the Department of Public Works, Police Department, and Fire Department. We'll talk about revenues, our 2024 capital plan, and our property tax levy. We were able to go to a specified website from our auditor that gives us some statistics about West Hampton Township and where the property tax shares go. And you can see that the majority of the property taxes are the school share, which is the 56.4, the larger part of that pie chart. The county share is 15.3, and the municipal share is 28.3%. And it just gives you a very brief breakdown of the amounts for West Hampton, Burlington County, and also New Jersey, where that line each total. So our budget timeline for 2024, tonight we're having our first budget workshop starting at 6 p.m. We're going to have a second workshop on March 19th where I anticipate answering some of the questions from the information that I'm going to share with you tonight. We plan to introduce the budget on April 2nd, and then 20 days later, at our May 7th meeting, we will have a public hearing and finalize adoption of that budget. Some of our 2024 budget highlights. So our proposed budget for 2024 is going to be $14.4 million. Our 2023 budget is $14,005,000 or $5 million. Our increase over 2023 was about $458,000, and we have unexpended funds of $580,062. So our unexpended funds becomes our surplus. So obviously with a $14.4 million budget, unexpended funds of only $500,000 is not a whole lot. Some of our major areas of 2024 increase are the increase of healthcare, personnel contracts, increased hiring of police and fire, and just overall inflation from nuts and bolts in public works to equipment for public, for fire and police. It's just everywhere we look this year, everything was inflated costs. I'm sure everybody's seen that in their own personal lives. As we presented last year, there's a New Jersey cap law from 1977 that says that we are not able to have 3.5% over the previous year's adopted expenditures. There is such thing as a cap bank, which we were able to utilize some of our bank's cap for this year. Outside cap expenditures are capital expenditures, debt service, and reserve for uncollected taxes and shared services agreements. So everything other than those items are inside the cap. We also have PERS and PFRS, state health care benefits that are over 4%, and any unused bank cap on to personnel costs for 2024. 66% of the $14.4 million budget is personnel costs. 43% of it, which is almost half of our budget, is salaries, followed by benefits and retirement costs. This next slide I'm going to show you is the departmental expenses between fire, police, administration, public works support, professional, and miscellaneous costs. It breaks it down by percentage budgeted for 2024. So I don't know if you can see it, but most of our costs or salaries is the police department, followed very closely by fire and ambulance. So this year for 2024, we were able to secure shared service agreement through the Port of East Hampton Port. That was a renewed shared service agreement. We renewed our construction agreement with Kingsport. We have the tax collection with Eastham. We also secured a shared service agreement with the fire department with Mount Holly and also Lumberton. We have an EMS agreement with East Hampton, and we have the police with BCIC, hopefully renewing again this summer. So I'm going to allow each department to present their 2024 budget to the committee, and first up will be Public Works. I'll have Director of Public Works, Christian Meadow, come and present.
Good evening. Over the past years, the DPW has always worked hard. It's always worked behind the scenes to make West Hampton more better. In 2024, I would like to continue to make the department successful and improve the township capital projects and up first in my proposal is the personnel plan. In 2024, the department currently doesn't have any intention to hire. If a position becomes available through someone leaving or retirement, the intention is to backfill that position. With the vacancy in November 2023, an equipment operator position has become available. I'm requesting that position to be filled. By doing so, this will keep the workflow running smoothly. It also gives the employees the opportunity to continue to grow within the department. Without this promotion, the opportunity for growth isn't available to them in their current job. Next up is major expenditures. In 2023, the department was able to spend within their means and keep within the budget. I have made some minor adjustments to the 2024 budget to cover increases in goods and services. Building contracts are raised to $1,200. We have some increases coming on there. Streets and roads repairs are raised to $2,500. We have a road project coming up for line striping to take place. And inside vehicle maintenance are raised to $3,000. So overall, parts and supplies went up 5%. So overspent that. We didn't actually overspend it. We spent it to zero Next up is capital purchases. These proposals being presented are facilities and equipment upgrades that need to be looked at to maintain services and quality for our facilities. My first proposal is the Recreation Center. The building was constructed in 1998 and still currently has the original roof. This year, we responded to 5 different work orders there for making areas for the building. We actually had at one point bring a contractor that actually helped try and solve that issue temporarily. I have a complete report of it. To see it, it's become cost prohibitive to continue to fix this temporarily. Next in the proposal is Public Works and Township garages. The building is no longer able to hold the road capacity with the amount of parts and equipment. In my proposal, I am proposing that we put an expansion on the side of the Public Works building to allow better workflow and safer work next proposal. The third proposal I am presenting tonight is automated trash cans for residents. The township is looking in 2025 to move forward with automated trash collection. We are currently doing an annual collection. By moving into automated collection, we will maximize the amount of money we're spending and minimize the overall costs associated with trash collection. And finally, under cap purchases, I am proposing the purchase of a 2024 Kenworth forklift truck with a lead bank. In the fall 2023, the department lost a lead back accident, and unfortunately, we have to fix that back. My intention with this truck is to make it a four-season truck with the purchase of proper accessories. I'm looking to purchase a roll-up dumpster for snow plow, spreader, and also a self-contained leaf vacuum, which is operated via the cab. The benefits of this are we're no longer having 3 men on a crew, or reducing it to only one man from fully collecting. One of the other benefits also is with brush collection, which we do every month, the increased capacity of the roll dumpster will provide us less trips to the landfill and reduce our costs overall with brush collection. And lastly, for the department goals, my goals for the public works department in 2024 are to reduce the overall costs of trash collection by switching from manual collection to automated collection with purchase. Second goal is to provide safe work environments for the departments by expanding the public works department of county shop. And lastly, restoring collection services to the residents by purchase of a forklift truck and self-contained vacuum, which will reduce operating costs. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. I wanted to elaborate on the trash collection, the item that's going to be, you're going to see in the capital when we get to that slide. So right now, we are just starting to go to our bids with Trash Pro to open up a new trash contract. Our contract will be up at the end of this year, so we're starting the process, we're beginning the process with Mount Holly. What we found during the last contract renewal was that we only received 2 bids from 2 companies. This being because we have manual roadside collection, which means that everybody has to put their trash in a can that doesn't have the toter style that the arm can come and pick up and just put into the truck. So it's one of those cans that you have to have a driver, a safety person, and a person on the back that's collecting has to get off the truck, manually take the can and dump it into the truck, and then place it back on the curb. Other trash companies are starting to automatically go to automatic trash collection, and they're only using toter styles. So by us purchasing toter bins for all of the residents, we can actually get more bids, which would probably be more cost effective for the township because they're able to cut back on their manpower when collecting the trash for the township. Now, understandably, we're in a joint contract with Mount Holly, so in the conversations that we're having with this trash contract, we asked Mount Holly if they would do the same so that we could get the same services, and we were willing to entertain the idea of purchasing their trash, their toters as well. So what we're trying to do is increase the amount of companies that can bid on our contract for our township. So we can try and minimize those costs. So the next slide that I have to be for the police department, I will.
Do we ask questions?
Yes. I have questions at the end. You want to ask now?
Yeah, because I'm old, I'm liable to forget. A couple things. One, the rec center, how's that under Public Works budget? Wouldn't that be under the rec budget?
Any repairs to any buildings would be under the public works budget. The recreation budget really only facilitates sports programs and the rental programs from running at the facility. It doesn't really support any of the repairs or any of the capital.
So they don't support, and let me ask a question, they don't support like the fields, like when they have to repair the fields and all those things? So then they wouldn't repair the roof? All right, fair enough. Right.
The rec budget is like only facilitates the recreation program.
Fair enough. And one other question. For me, I'm sorry if I'm dominating. Snow, how much did we pay for snow last year, and did we fulfill that? Or with snow, it says snow was 10,500 last year. Like, how much do we know how much we spent on, I mean, we had one snowstorm. And I know as soon as we change that budget, we'll have 8 snowstorms, so.
So keep in mind that with municipal budget, even though we're allocating the line item, let's just think that, okay, we have $2,000 line item for snow, and it happens not to snow. But then we have a short change line item.
We can move it, right.
And figure we can transfer those funds without having to affect our budget later year. They allow us to kind of move those line items across the budget so that we can make everything work. We do end up spending money.
Last question. So the leaf that we had, that was in an accident, did we get insurance money from that?
We got $11,000
For something we have to replace for $500,000?
Well, so that overall number represents the truck and the van. The truck, the number is approximately $387,000 for accessories. The back is $166,000.
So we have the truck, we just broke the back.
Well, with the proposal of replacing the truck, this actually facilitates us to the question of currently, we can't do that because we don't have a truck. Currently, we deal with which partially has to do that.
Fair enough. Thank you, Chris. Anybody else have any questions? Well, it's not the vehicle, it's the vac. So the vac is hooked up to the vehicle, right?
Yes.
So it's the vac that we got the 11,000 for, the vehicle's around.
So if we're gonna purchase, just curious, first, if we're gonna purchase something roughly close to, I don't know, $400,000+, are we buying a document insurance policy to cover for the replacement of that vehicle? Is that factored into the budget?
That's just the jet. So our jet covers all of it. Just about everything that's in the jet.
Is that- is that-
So, smart. Now. You woke him up. Together, we woke up.
To clarify what we had, a truck was going back, so it was a two. What we're trying to buy now is all of one vehicle, so that it minimizes the workload. And that's how we're able to have one truck, have one person on the one truck, drive around and with the old back vehicle, it's smaller, and it doesn't have as much, obviously it doesn't have as much capacity, so we have 3 guys going out, probably taking the lead and going and coming back. It's just a lot more labor. This is just more of all in one type of thing rather than 2 vehicles.
Modernizing one level of technology and end up getting a better ROI through reducing the manual part of that stuff. Okay, so that makes sense. Let's put my thought on that.
Hopefully around 20 years.
Damn. That must be a
We're
Ford.
replacing a 2005 Chevrolet.
By chance, if you happen to look into the grants, the community revitalization grant,
I did not currently, but I can.
I mean, we have the grant writer, you can put them to work, right?
I know just for your information, and you can put up the revitalization grant thing. we're successful in getting somebody for that.
Yeah, we're successful in getting the VFW money.
I will now invite
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Brian, President, to comment on that, please.
Will you do the deed?
This one?
We can just do the back.
Good?
Yep.
Thanks.
Good evening, committee, mayor, residents that are here. Brian Ferguson, Westhampton Township Police Chief. Before I go over my budget and my expenditures with you, just want to advise you that the police department is committed to safeguarding our community and enhancing public safety through our proactive policing strategies, community engagement, and continuous improvement. Proposed budget for the fiscal year 2024 reflects our ongoing commitment to excellence and innovation in law enforcement. So, I'm just going to go right in order, even though it might not exactly match what's up on the screen in order, make it easier for you to follow along. So the first thing requested for the 2024 budget is 2 patrol vehicles. Now, it is on their flights, but after speaking with the township administrator, we're going to try to capitalize these 2 vehicles, being that they're SUVs and 5-year shelf life. I went in on the low end for the vehicles at this point. Dodge Durangos seem to be plentiful right now. And we got that confirmed when I was at Cherry Hill dealership today, that they have it on the ground and they're ready. So that state contract price is very competitive, even with the Cranford Co-op, just another agency that we applied for funding when we want to buy police vehicles. The total cost to outfit them, give or take, is another $16,000. That's also on the low end. So the total request for those 2 vehicles would be about $110,000 total under capital. Second thing under capital is the upgrade of the department alcohol test machine. This is something that we're at the mercy of the state of New Jersey. Right now, we've lucked out the last few years in Rowan County. They have not switched us to the new machine. Probably by year's end, we might see the new machine come into Rowan County. So I want to be prepared. This is a quote that went back to 2023, but we confirmed it the other day. It's still approximately $23,000 for the new alcohol test machine. That would include any training for the officers, because the state police does provide that free of cost. Our officers that are already trained would just go to a 4-hour switchover class to operate the new machine. We have talked with several surrounding municipalities about a shared services agreement, but nothing is soon as of right now. Between the 4 P3 departments, about purchasing maybe 1 or 2, and then sharing it. That might be something that we can look forward to. On the second page, my handout, our basic budget line items. I have asked for increases in certain items this year. Equipment, just the basic cost of doing business. Most of our increases this year are up 25% already, I'm seeing. So this is just general equipment that we need to maintain our current fleet, our officers, and everything like that. Firearms, we try to go every year with the same budget. We've had the same budget of $8,000 that dated back to 2015. We had a slight increase 1 year, then we had a decrease. So I'm asking if we can go up another $2,000 in that category. So that will cover our cost of ammo, and Lieutenant Beard is very proactive for the future of our department. So this is the year that we need to purchase our taser cartridges, which also come out of our firearms budget. So we try to do that every few years so we don't stretch our budget too thin. The biggest increase I've listed is for services. This being that we have all in-house storage for our body cameras and our tasers. I was told that we're running low on storage, so part of this large increase that I have asked for, $5,000 for a new server. That will keep me going for quite a few more years. Also, Power EMS, I just got that new bill. That's going up about $1,000. And then for our body cameras is also up this year, so, you know, it looks like I've asked for more than probably in other years past. This is just going to cover us to conduct the same business that we're already doing. Training, keeping it the same, uniforms, keeping it the same, vehicle maintenance, a little bit more money, I've asked for that. This is the fact that our fleet is all out of warranty, except for the one we probably just got. 24 that we ordered in 23. But usually this is something I can work with Chris and his mechanics and the public works department to keep that within budget. Clothing maintenance, we're not going to have any increase in that. You can see the overtime budget. Your production, say we're asking for us to go a decrease of that to $93,000. We were well under about $10,000 on that line item last year, so even with the hiring of the newer officers, I believe I can still maintain that same number for this coming year. The shift supervisor FTO pay, I have asked for an increase just based on projected hiring of maybe at least two officers this year. That's explained. And our personnel on the last page, we currently have 25 full-time officers, one part-time officer that works about 15 hours a week. His primary job is staff and fire investigation. Administration still comprised of a chief and 2 lieutenants. We handle a variety of uniform crime reporting, internal affairs, etc. With the pending retirement of a possible one of my lieutenants in February 2025, I'd like to backfill that position with a promotion in October of 24, and also fill that position with a new police officer in December of 24. My goals going forward is to maintain the patrol division increasing by 2 officers by year's end. I propose to do that. I have not replaced retirement of Steve Annette from last year, and we did receive the COPS grant through the federal government to help offset salary and wages. We still do have the current contract with ECIT until 2025, so we're hoping that go forward with that policy once that expires. We did negotiate a fair deal with them last time, so I look forward to when that expires next year to over that. I just listed our calls of service so you can have an idea of the calls of service that the town handles. This isn't everything because sometimes officers don't generate numbers, but this gives you a general about how many calls the officers are actually handling throughout the year. So pretty much, my department goals at the end is I would like to bring up patrol division to a 3-man minimum 24/7. This is something we've talked about for years. I was hired in 2001. Population of the town was probably under 8,000. I worked with 2 officers then. It is now 2024. The population probably over 10,000 now.
That's what I said.
And we still have 2 officers. So the increase in calls, the increase in paperwork, the increase in the training, everything that comes down our work from the Attorney General's office. I think it's proper at the time, given the fact that I can hire these 2 officers by year's end, probably midway through this year, once I get my 1 officer back on flight duty, I could guarantee the town that 24/7 covering for 3 officers. And still maintain the current budget that I'm proposing. So, other than that, I do have some more goals for community engagement. I've already been pretty proactive with that. We have, I think, the best relationship we've had in years with the schools next door and down the street at Holly Hills. Also, our daycares in our town. Sometimes they get like left off. We'll make sure the officers always go visit them. BCIT, we have a good relationship with that. Special services, even the Benjamin Banneker Academy, our jurisdiction that we provide services to. We're going to expand our youth and adult police academies. So our youth academy, we had last year, first year was pretty successful. We're going to kick off the second one this year, and then there's my goal to offer something for the adult population as well. Something that might be a few nights a week for like a month or 2, where people from the town can come in and learn what the police officer can do. Hopefully host more community forums and listening sessions to gather input on policing priorities and strengthen relationships with our residents and partner with any of our other community organizations so we can deliver crime prevention workshops and anything that's safety educated as well. That's all I have.
I got a question, shockingly. I know we've talked about this before. SRO, have you been approached about an SRO for the schools? And if so, is Benjamin Banneker School, have they asked us about an SRO as well?
Benjamin Banneker, I just met with them recently because they hadn't turned in their MOA, the security agreement. They've not asked anything down there. They have a very minimal student population down there. They have security on location. Actually, some of their security is armed too. So I don't think there's an issue there. I talked to Jim in the past next door. We gave him the options of class 2, class 3, full time, benefits, cost analysis, and everything like that. He's had it. I know he was waiting for most of the school renovations to be done. See what he had left over in the security budget. I mean, he's been very proactive. We can't be any more happier next door and how it is, all the enhancements in the security of the building. I mean, I think parents might take, not like we're not worried, but like our police station is right next door. So
Yeah, that helps.
There's an officer there, but at the same time, there's not an officer in the building a lot of all times either. You might see the police cars here. We could be out the street or tied up on other priorities, but I've not been approached officially by him.
I just bring it up because obviously you know why I'm bringing it up. It was a resident who asked about it. Fair question, right? That of the three, like the local towns, we're one of the few that don't have, and it's not on us, right? But don't have an SRO in the schools, which then they kind of pay, why we'd be interested, they pay most of the police officers' salary, but we can use that police officer in the summertime, et cetera, et cetera. So that might be a way to increase from 27 police officers to 29 without us paying the full load for one, right? And then when you have Laurel Run that just came in, and who knows what else is going to happen, because it looks like there's always a full docket at land development, that we're kind of being proactive versus reactive. Not saying that you're being reactive at all.
I mean, we're going to take the proactive step. I have an officer on light duty who is not my favorite to be. Let's just see, he's right there. He's probably going to be the one with the platoon because there's younger children.
Right.
He's a lower officer. So we're going to put him through SRO school and we're ready.
Okay.
He'll be done and trained and ready to go. If they call and say they want the SRO position.
Fair enough.
For a full-time officer. He wants to go like 2, class 3, then we'll have to go back to the law.
And they know that some of our, and I think that you know this, some of our retired officers have been SROs out of the school. So this may be also a way that we can keep some of our officers when they retire to probably stay in town, especially if they're.
It's been a little tough. There's a lot of towns that have tried to hire, and, a lot of guys are retired, and I don't know, a lot of guys don't want to go back and put the uniform back on and do that.
Yeah, fair enough.
So on that alcohol test machine, do we have to fund that with tax revenue? What I'm getting at, do we have the authority, can we impose a levy on the liquor license holders within the township? Some nominal amount to get them to basically kind of fund the purchase of that? You're shaking your head now?
Now, the liquor licenses are regulated by the alcohol, ABC,
Yeah, well,
beverage control.
I'm
So
saying a separate levy.
we can't do a separate levy. We're preempted by state law.
Can't call it fee or,
No.
Police
No.
department has what we call TWI funds. Every time there's a drunk driver arrest, we go to court. So the PD agency will keep an account. Within that account right now, I only have, those are not,
yeah, you said we put 22,000. Yeah. All right, I didn't know, just curious.
Mhm.
It comes up every, I think, the last one we brought was 15 years ago, so it does last a long time, but, definitely, the share service agreement to the town, industry town share one machine.
Right, okay.
That's it, right?
Thank you.
Using its shelf life, right, that machine?
That's not a shelf life, it's, lawyers, have argued against the machine a little bit. So the new machine has, less, shall we say, moving parts and less human error associated with it, so that's why it's going through.
I got you.
So next up in our budget, I'd like to convey intent to try this out and if not, to present clarity on the.
Good evening, I'll be presenting this to Chief Warrensburg, as he's out sick for a couple days. It's my pleasure to present the West Hampton Customer Service budget request for 2024. Our firefighter EMTs made up of full-time per diem and volunteer employees responded to almost 3,400 calls for service. The majority of our calls for service are emergency medicine related, approximately 73%, and the remainder are fire and vehicle accidents. The calls we receive for service are extremely important to our personnel and the entire community of West Hampton Township. Each call for help represents someone from our community experiencing an unexpected and, at those times, unfortunate incident requiring our fire department help. Our firefighter EMTs truly understand the pain and loss that is often associated with an incident that requires our services. With that, our personnel strive to provide the utmost compassion, empathy, and support necessary to all those in emergency situations each day. The 2024 budget requests contain all the necessary funding to maintain the West Hampton Township services for the year 2024. Under EMS maintenance, it's basically the day-to-day operations of the department. There's been no increase. EMS supplies and equipment, any materials we use on the ambulance, oxygen supplies, rubber gloves, things of that nature, that falls under that. Those costs are constantly rising. We've asked for $8,000 on that line item. Training, there's no increase there. What we've been doing is sending more of our employees to trainer classes so that they can come back and present the classes in-house rather than sending our people out as much. Dues and subscriptions, zero increase. That's just agreements with Burlington County on some certain type of incident reporting software that we really don't have any say in. Fire equipment maintenance, there's shelf life, there's 10-year law rules for some of our equipment and also normal wear and tear. We've decreased that $5,000 due to some grant awards, replacing some equipment and doing some testing in-house ourselves. Radio maintenance, there's been no increase. The radio system, there's a county system now, and they took on most of the costs. The radio system is still fairly new, so there's been no increase there. Educational assistance, that's a contractual item that remains at $6,000. Vehicle maintenance, we've dropped down $20,000. With the ladder gone, which was our biggest maintenance headache, we're saving money there. When the new ladder comes in, that would be under warranty. 2 ambulances are being replaced this year. When they come in, we feel as though that there'll be less maintenance due to the new vehicles. Full-time firefighter salary wages went up $365,000 due to the contractual items and hiring personnel. We did away with the part-time firefighter position. We brought them on as a full-time firefighter, so savings there of $39,500. The per diem firefighters, we cut that budget and put towards full-time firefighter salary wages. Cut $68,000 there. Part of the reason for that is the candidate pool just isn't there. As Chief Ferguson said, it's harder and harder to find candidates, not only full-time per diem. So what we found is it's better to hire full-timers and guarantee the staffing rather than rely on somebody's availability. Some of the contractual items with holiday pay, overtime, there's a difference of $185,542. Under the fire official budget, salary and wages, there's zero difference. His supplies, zero difference. There's a vehicle lease payment of $15,857. No increase on fire prevention, supplies, and fire protection training. Under capital expenditures, we asked for $67,000. Like I said, the 10-year shelf life that they recommend, and normal wear and tear, things just need to be replaced. The vehicle electrification equipment alone, we just had to purchase the batteries this year. The batteries are $500. So, things are just out of our hands. That's the PPE, that needs to be replaced at least every 10 years. Our year does it in the next 10 years. We're pretty busy, and the year probably lasts 3 years. So $50,000 in that line item. Technology upgrades, and this is, we've been working with JIF to do our technology where JIF like it. That's going to need to purchase some servers and things of that nature, and we're asking for $14,300. Some accomplishments in 2023, we received the ARPA grant under for federal funding. We purchased PPE. We purchased a new policy software. Not only does it record disciplinary issues, but it also attaboys or good job or things that people have done well. Any exposure to hazardous materials or blood or pathogens or things of that nature, it's an easier way to have one place to track everything per employee, if there's an issue later on. We did the pre-build for the new ladder. That should be coming in, that's going to be 2 years out still. We did sell the ladder. That was a positive, and I think we did well on that. We did the pre-build for the 2 ambulances, and during that we were able to sell the 2 old ambulances when those are delivered in conjunction with that company. We worked with the architectural firm for the feasibility study for the firehouse. We did enter a shared service agreement with the Allied Fire District for basement fire protection. Previously, that was being done for free, sort of through a mutual aid agreement, but it was really being abused. We did reduce on-job injuries over 25%. We hired 3 additional full-time personnel, bringing us to 24. And we did our second full-time firefighter academy. The new recruits were hired. We did our own academy. It was an 8-week course. They received a slew of certifications, and it cut back on when they come on duty that we would have to train them on duty, whereas got it out of the way in 8 weeks and come on and fix the work. Some of the challenges we faced in 2023, we had multiple full-time personnel out for an extended period of time for various reasons. Ladder truck, and we also noticed that we never have one call at once. Whenever one call comes in, there's 2 or 3, so we rely heavily on some of our mutual aid partners. Some things we're looking to accomplish in 2024 is continue to receive federal funding for grants, settle the contract with the career firefighters, decrease unnecessary call volumes in the fire prevention office. The businesses and hotels, the fire alarms are constantly going on. If we can convince working with them in conjunction, we cut down on that call volume with false alarms, and then it's not really prime work for the people staying there as well. We're working on increasing our cybersecurity with JIF. That's actually going. The 2 new ambulances will be in this year, and we're working on a new 5-year strategic plan. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Any questions?
When you were talking about the JIF wants to see the technology upgrades, is that right? I guess my question or concern would be, if you didn't do, would that fluctuate the JIF and cause the insurance rate to spike? So it may be more cost effective to do the upgrades so we can mitigate the insurance coverage, right? Is that That's a problem. Yes. So maybe I would put that at the top.
That's being worked on right here. It's already,
Your budget request personally.
what can be done already without the budget is already being done.
It's just going to be insured and raised low. So that's the top.
Huh? Yes. Thank you.
Next slide, I'm going to discuss our revenue side. And I would love to give us some really great news about our revenues, but unfortunately, our revenues are down on 2023. Our two biggest areas are construction fees and EMS. So with a $14 million budget, about $5 million coming in revenue, that only gave us about $2 million in surplus. Our construction fees specifically, when we had the big wall on development come through town, most of our construction fees were collected in 2022. So we were able to recognize that revenue for 2023 as anticipated revenue. Now, because they haven't collected anything in 2023, we were unable to anticipate the same kind of revenue that we anticipated for 2023. So that being said, we're actually down about $500,000 in revenue in the construction department. Now, with our EMS fees, we saw an uptick in services as Mrs. Sadowski had presented. Because we had such an uptick in services, we were allowed to anticipate more than what we had collected in revenues for 2023. But going into 2024, we don't have that ability, so we're taking a little bit of an offset. So really, our EMS fees are still continuing to go higher and higher, but what's happening is we have to take the offset because they're unaudited fees at this point, so we can't anticipate as much as we did last year. So that makes our revenues come down a little bit. We are still collecting court fees, but as you know, with all the changes to the laws, we're not collecting as much as we had in previous years, and some of our federal and state aid and funding, although it's still there, some of it is also down. So revenues in general are down, but the good news is our spending is under the cap. So our spending is down with conjunction of our revenues. So going on to our capital requests, all of the departments had presented their requests in the budget package, which you have copies of for the Public Works, Police, and Fire Department. So these are the items that they have listed and discussed of what they're asking for in capital. Now, capital is a separate fund. It is not covered under the municipal budget. That is, we only have to pay a 5% down payment. So with all of the items that we're requesting, $54,000, that is 5% of the down payment that would fall under the municipal budget. Everything else will be financed through anticipation notes or loans, financing, if you will. Next up is the property tax levy. So under the property tax levy law, you can only tax residents up to 2%. Again, there is a bank, so we have the ability to go a little bit higher than 2% because we've never reached our bank year in property taxes. Our operating expenditures overall increased by 7%. So we are asking for an increase of 6.5 cents to cover those expenditures because of our surplus being low and because of our revenues being low. We also have to, without choice, defer school taxes by $435,000. This is actually 75% of our allowable deferral rate for school taxes. Now, I will remind the committee, as I did last year, or the previous year, we are legally allowed to defer school taxes just because of the way that the calendar years are for a municipality versus a school district. Some municipalities do this in general by practice. Some of them may do it when they have to. We happen to be one of the municipalities that only does it when we have to, so we have the ability to utilize this as an accounting measure to have our operating budget reflect that we have more in surplus by deferring the school taxes to the next year. So unfortunately, because our revenues are too low, we have to do it this year. We don't have a choice. But we are asking for that 6.5 cent increase to help build that surplus so we won't have to do it next year. So with that being said, the average residential taxpayer increase will be $156 a year with a 6.5 cent increase. So that actually concludes my budget presentation for the committee and residents. What you have in front of you, in addition to your departmental packets, are a copy of the revenues by line item. This is a copy of the expenditures by line item that shows you the difference between 2023 expenditures and 2024 expenditures. It will show you the difference on the side and the percentage increase or decrease. And then at the bottom, it gives you a grand total for the budget. Additionally, I've provided the documents provided by our auditor that show the breakdown of the property tax, the levy, the total budget, the surplus that you can read through. I am not asking you to make any decisions tonight on anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to propose that when we come back for our second budget workshop, that we do a recap of the budget for you, to remind you of everything that we have with the surplus, the revenues, our expenditures, etc. We'll open it up to further questions, and at that point, I'll ask you to make a decision on where you'd like us to go for introduction of the budget in April. So with that, do you have any further questions for this presentation?
Debt service payments.
Our debt service payments? For 2024, it would be $1,119,688. It is on page 2 of the 2024 budget summary information packet from the auditor. Any other questions? Any other questions from the rest?
Well, you brought up a good point about debt servicing. I mean, it's been talked about that the Federal Reserve may be cutting interest rates. I don't know when. That's a big guessing game. So I'm wondering, I don't know, can we game out what it would be if we wanted to raise some of the CapEx from a bond and see if that would help at all to mitigate the tax revenue raising impact? It's up to you guys, but it might be worth looking at.
So we actually did that last year. We don't really have much left that we can bond for because we've already performed that function last year. So I'll offset the cost of the
I'm trying.
Any other questions?
I know you put a lot of references in there usually. Can I ask for a picture of our fiscal position next year?
It's almost impossible for us to be able to do that because there are so many moving parts to the municipal budget that we actually did try to find out what we were looking at for 2025, but with all the contingencies with the tax rates and the new construction and anything new coming down the pipeline for 2024, it's almost impossible to give a accurate estimate of that
On what?
for 2025.
On what, just the total budget?
What it would be like for the next year. Before we end this presentation, I just want to give a special thanks to Chief Craig Farnsworth because he actually did a lot of work in helping me prepare the budget as he does every year. He actually built this entire slide deck for you tonight. And unfortunately, he was not able to be with us, so I wanted to make sure that he had a special thanks. So, no further questions? We'll take a break of 2 minutes and then we'll continue.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
Bex, 1 second.
This isn't like that much popcorn. They're talking about the popcorn, and she's like, I'm like, this isn't that much popcorn. That's what I'm saying. He just told him to, she said to use this for King's Church on Saturday. This is all he gets? It's not that much. I know. See how it tastes. It tastes like real movie popcorn. You think? I said I want one. All right, so he's retiring.
No, you can't.
Mayor,
Yes.
it is not on your agenda, but we do have a presentation tonight from Hardenberg.
So we're gonna start now?
Yep.
That's not a lie.
Here it is. Would you agree?
Presentation on safety and the agenda. Joe Henry, Hardenberg Insurance.
I'll be quick, Wendy.
Okay.
All right. know why I'm here every year, and see familiar faces, so I won't belabor you with that. But as part of your safety incentive program with the JIF, you have to have something related to safety on the agenda. So I have a topic every year. Your safety committee is doing great. The chief is still working as your safety coordinator. So things are good there. In every successful safety committee, the accident investigation is key. That's what this presentation is going to be on. So I'll jump right into it. The objectives are when to conduct an investigation, understanding your steps involved with an investigation, and determining the root cause and contributing factors, which really is the most important thing, primarily to find out root cause, because we don't know why it happened, how we're going to prevent it from happening again. We want to get our reports in properly and make any changes if needed. Now, moving on, we'll start with an investigation. We want to document facts that were found at the scene, determine the causes I just mentioned, and put corrective action in place immediately to prevent any more accidents. That's another key factor, putting corrective action in place to prevent something. What we want to do is find out one of two things. Was the lack of training? Did the employee get injured because they didn't know really what was to be done in that particular task? If that's the case, get training in place, the JIF offers it free of charge, and anybody else that needs that training. Or it may have been from a lack of engineering advice. Possibly didn't have the proper equipment, and they had faulty equipment that caused an accident. If it's faulty, you want to get it out of practice. And if you don't have it, you want to put something in place. One example would be that there are engineered devices, tools to lift manhole covers. We've seen a lot of injuries over the years with manhole covers, people lifting them up manually. There are devices that can pick it up without having to use your manpower. Some important plan highlights: preservation of life is key. If you have an injured employee, first thing, call 911 if needed. If not, get them to the nearest designated urgent care facility. You want to preserve evidence. If you have possible subrogation is a process in the insurance industry that you have a manufacturer's defect. Any money is put out by the insurance carrier, you can go back to that manufacturer and recover those funds. Gather your information, identify those corrective measures as I mentioned, and who receives the accident report. It has to go to a person in authority. We don't want to just process forms, put them aside, and nothing happens with them. If they're in the hands of the right person, we can take action. Report your accident, follow procedures in your plan, who you report it to. I'll just mention someone in authority. When you report it, immediately would be best. 24 hours would be ideal, but certainly within a 3-day window. Statistics prove out that injuries that are reported early are less costly and the individual returns to work. As I mentioned, who's going to conduct the accident investigation? You want someone in authority. Secure your scene. If you do have an accident, control access to the scene. You don't want anybody in there to disrupt it. Use some sort of barrier to keep the area as it was when the accident occurred. Do not adjust or change the accident scene unless it is required to help an injured employee. Basically, do what you have to do to see that the person is safe. Information gathering will be plentiful. We're going to find out who was injured, what caused the accident, where, be specific with that, when it occurred, how it occurred. Don't forget to ask the witness questions. Why is it involved? Why is the biggest question? Because if we don't find out why it happened, it's going to continue to happen. Continuing with information gathering, view your accident scene right away, provide a clear description, take photographs or video. Everybody's got a camera these days, so it's going to be helpful to take pictures at the scene. Go ahead and do that. Also collect any items associated with the accident that can be helpful. Label and secure your items for the insurance adjuster. Identify witnesses. Get written statements from your witnesses. It's best to get them right away while in expression of mind, and document what they say and what they heard. This is key, especially in litigation. Documentation is your salvation, as they say, when you take your call. And lastly, so what can we do to help? Corrective measures and tools to put in place. Purchase new tools and equipment, as I mentioned earlier, because engineering devices can be helpful. Redesigning the work area. Improve housekeeping. Poor housekeeping is one of the top 10 OSHA citations monthly. Poor housekeeping leads to lots of slip, trips, and falls in the workplace. Install warning devices if needed, add to existing signage that can be helpful in mitigation if we have third-party claims, slip, trip, and fall incidents at township property, removing broken equipment, tools, and improving lighting. Again, lots of slip, trip, and fall happen in poor lighting areas, and those could be in poor walls as well. So that concludes safety on the agenda. If you have any questions related to your safety program for this, please feel free to ask. Don, you got your way?
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Approval of minutes, February 20th, 2024, regular meeting minutes. Do you have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Carr?
Yes.
Longo?
Yes.
Mayor Henley?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
February 20th, 2024, executive session minutes. Do you have a motion?
I motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Carr?
Yes.
Longo?
Yes.
Mayor Henley?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
We will now open the meeting for public comment on agenda items only. Please remember to state your name and address for the record. Remember, this is for comment only. Now closed for public comment. All in favor?
All right.
Ordinance, second reading, public comment. 2024, an ordinance of the Township of West Hampton amending and supporting West Hampton Township Code, Chapter 128, entitled Fire Prevention.
Gary Graham, 138 Winston. So on this ordinance, I have a couple of sort of confused questions, I guess. I don't have any overall objection to it. I guess my questions or comments are, I noticed in here, I think it's going to be maybe page 8 of the packet. It's the ordinance where it begins at the top of the page, section Roman numeral 10, and it gets down into the fire wash discussion of amending the ordinance. I guess the question I had regarding the fire wash portion of this is that this stipulates that active employees of WTES can deploy to be on the fire wash. I guess my question was, what's considered an active employee? Because on the WTES site, we've got your guys, and then per diem, and then volunteer. Are per diem and volunteer considered active employees? Would they be able to deploy to the fire watch for this ordinance?
So typically, as that's that would be any staff that was on the covered under so we have not had a volunteer run into that situation, and we don't have a necessary mechanism to compensate.
Okay. I'm just curious because it would seem that it was very specific here in the ordinance that said active employees. So I wondered if there was some specific reason why it was sort of mentioned in that way. And then the other piece of this was, I don't think this might be page 9 of the packet, kind of the lower part of the page where it says section 116, and it's subsection B here, notice large gatherings. It says, it shall require for any political party involved in any gathering which over 110 weeks are anticipated within the township, whether inside a structure, to make advance notification to WTES, etc. And I guess my observation there, or comment, because it says if determined by the fire chief that they should deploy a ambulance on standby services, they can charge them $100 per hour. I guess my comment or question is, I've seen where the warehouse across the street from the New Rural One development, sometimes they do like on-site recruiting or job fairs, that sort of thing. Would that be kind of covered within the ambit of this part of the ordinance, because theoretically, you could have 100 job seekers come there. This seems to say that it will trigger mandatory notification by them to the fire department, and the fire department will then make a determination whether or not they want to put an ambulance on standby. So even if they didn't put the ambulance on site at that property, they theoretically, the way I read it, could put the ambulance on standby at the fire station and still bill them $100 per hour. That's the way I read it.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
You may.
Thanks, sir. So this, both sections of the ordinance that you're referencing are actually already approved in the ordinance. They're just cleaning up the language as opposed to those with the actual major additions to the back. So in that instance, thanks for your question. Yes, they actually do notify us because it's by fire whether or not you're going to have that ambulance on standby or that fire truck on standby is kind of up to both the fire chief and the police. And then, that is the factor that would, dictate that would be the number of people, kind of the nature of, what's going on. If they're going to use a warehouse, let's say, a large park, and bring in, 40 family members, whether we're tripling the occupant load of that space, that's something that we definitely, factor that knowledge gathering. Well, we have had several instances in town where a business, let's say a strip mall, is, you're probably, for example, a dance studio. Well, that dance studio wants to have an open house, and they're inviting, 250 people are in attendance on Facebook. Something like that, and would make interaction, with the business, and just kind of, hey, what kind of, gathering are you having, and food trucks, stuff like that. This is kind of just to clear up that notification requirement to let us make that determination. And we would absolutely do that with the business. So it's not, I don't want to say it's punitive, but that would be something that just open up that line of communication.
I'm just wondering, what about like for recreation, athletic, we have like gatherings, sports, is that part of their packet when they come to rent the field? They touch a box and it automatically includes the fire watch. So again, not necessarily.
So what we've had in the past is there's been sporting events, and we knew about them, and there wasn't an ambulance. We then call just like the 3 or 4 ambulance calls there for Brooklyn Roads. Well, now we have to consider, because now we're taking the ambulance away from the town, and there was people sitting out on the field waiting, so we should probably have something there. So I've seen that. Also, there's been an event at the school event, and there's a lot of communication, right? If we get calls for an incident there, we're assuming that the building's empty because it's after school hours. If they're having a large event, our call out, and there's hundreds of people there. We're not expecting that. So it's a lot of communication.
Yeah, I was wondering, maybe I've never seen those application packs. Maybe we tweak the pack to automatically CC the fire department on that sort of event. Can we do that now, or maybe something sounds like it might be a good idea? Just a suggestion, but thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Well, we already have public comment unless we have another public.
Is this for both ordinance?
No, this is just
No,
for 4.
still personal. Roll call.
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo, Mayor Henley.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
5, 2024, an ordinance of the Township of West Hampton amending and supplementing West Hampton Township Code, Chapter 128, Property Maintenance, to add Article 2, lead-based paint inspections. Do you have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Open for comment? Roll call?
Mayor, Committeewoman Berkeley had some questions, and I can just clear up,
Sure.
part of public hearing. She emailed me those. She had a question regarding the multiple dwelling units exception. The New Jersey Department of Community Affairs already inspects multiple dwellings, apartment buildings. And my understanding is that under those regulations, they've been inspecting for lead for the last 10 years. Therefore, if they have a clear inspection from the DCA, the multiple dwellings are exempt from this law. She also had a question about how this would apply to the post office. Just want to clarify that this ordinance only applies to residential dwellings. It's not commercial dwellings. She also had a question regarding rental registration and suggested that we adopt an ordinance for rental registration. There already is a rental registration form that anybody with a rental is supposed to fill out. I believe it's once a year or on a change of residency, so we already have that in place.
Thank you. Roll call?
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Yes.
Mayor Henley.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
Resolution 40-24, payment of vouchers. This resolution approves the payment of vouchers through 3/5/2024. Do we have a motion?
I motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Yes.
Mayor Henley.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
Consent agenda resolution notes. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted with a single motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any items requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to remove 41-24, resolution refunding tax duplicate payments?
Make a motion to table 41-24.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to approve 42 through
45.
45.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Carr,
Yes.
Mungo,
Yes.
Mayor Henley.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0.
We now open the meeting for public comment. Please remember to state your name and address for the record. Remember, this is for comment only. Is that a birthday card, Gary?
So Gary McGregor for the Winston. I know practically our from the police department is going to be 8 years super following passing. So I wasn't sure if you guys had a card already that you had prepared here at the township. I've got a card here in case people want to sign it. So if you don't mind, maybe you can include it in what you're going to deliver to the Cullen family. And then, were you planning on doing anything in the building on Friday?
In the past, I've authorized the officers who are wearing it for the month of March, we have a reading patch that, that was even I started before, I saw the text, and actually we have there are other arms, a combination of American flag, the Irish flag, and shamrock, and this patch, and like that. The officers will be there for a while. We'll make it like a appropriate announcement.
Okay. I would just hear if people want to sign it.
Absolutely.
And,
Thank you. Motion, all in favor to close public comment?
Aye.
Dates to remember. Next Township Committee meeting is March 19th, Budget Workshop at 6 p.m., regular meeting at 7 p.m., Historic Commission is March 27th at 7 p.m., Land Development Board is March the 6th at 7 p.m., Recreation Committee meeting is March the 13th at 7 p.m., and the Easter egg hunt is March 23rd at 9:30 p.m. Also, we have a movie day at James Church on 3/9 at 12 o'clock p.m. Do we have any committee liaison reports or comments?
I don't have any reports. I just want to thank all the departments for coming in tonight and sharing your budgets. I appreciate the comments from Gary as always. Thank you.
I second that. I'd like to thank you all for coming. It's clear that you guys take your job seriously and your commitments to our community. I appreciate it all. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for coming out. I do, want to thank, I just want to recognize, the two gentlemen that are here from the fire department. They're not their department heads, obviously. Craig couldn't be here, but not only did they have to come out and put the budget together in front of everyone, but to be able to, answer questions and to be in that role. I want to thank you guys for that. And the questions that Gary had, to be prepared to be able to answer his questions and to be comfortable, even to the point that I believe you. If you're wrong, I'm full. I want to thank you guys for that. And when I'm saying that, I do believe that if Chief Ferguson or Christian, if they had to have somebody fill in, they would be just as prepared. So, obviously, these are the things when you get to tell how strong, our leaders are, because they prepare their staff, even if they're not here, to be able to step in and help. So I just want to make sure that I show appreciation for that. With that being said, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
All right. Have a good night.
So now, wait a minute, I gotta carry the popcorn? I'm not good at this stuff. I'll lose this popcorn, that's a fact.